It is 2026, and that means it is time for a new planner. So MakseLife is sending their planners this year out in this cute bag, and inside you have the perfect planner to make your 2026 goals a reality. So whether you choose a word of the year, a resolution, goals, or you hate all of that and you just want to stay on top of what you have to do each day, MakseLife is the perfect system for you. Let's dive into how they're weaving goal setting with planning to be able to help you live your most intentional life and achieve the goals that you want for 2026. Here she is, my MakseLife planner for 2026. This is the cover that I chose, but there are so many options to choose from. I liked this one, Just Begin. Just feels so New Year's like. And then here's what the back looks like. And the great thing about MakseLife is the last couple of years, they have started making their planner covers interchangeable. So you can take this off and use this as the new back and this side as the new front if you would like. So for this is the one that I chose. This is the Just Begin. I'm probably going to use this part for a while and then switch maybe in a month or so whenever I feel like I need a change. And that was the case for last year too. So I have my planner from last year here in one of their folios that I love. You can go look at my last video for that and hear how much I love these and how soft they are and how classy they look. But here's the one that I had from last year, so you can see again that you can switch out the covers and it does look beautiful and also is so soft. So I have this here as a reference to show a couple of things that have changed, but really the differences between the planners are very minimal. So everything is mostly the same between the last year planner and this year planner because MakseLife has pretty much made a perfect planner. So let's go through it. You can see that between the 2 years, we have a similar size coil here, so same size as before. In 2024 to 2025, they ended up increasing the coil size a little bit, but this year they are keeping the same size. So if you already have one, that you can expect. Another thing that I love about MakseLife is that they have these bookmarks that you can take in and out that are also a ruler, and it says today. So that just helps you kind of keep your place, or you can use a straight edge if you need one, or a ruler. So that's in there, you can use that. And then here we have the front again, looks pretty much the same. They made the font a little bit thinner on the year, but the same idea. I have the vertical. So what we're going through is the MakseLife yearly planner that starts in 2026. So I got January through December here, and same as what I got last year. And the great thing about this is that if you want a different layout, they do have the horizontal layout, but I like the vertical weekly edition. So I'll be writing my name and email and stuff like I did last year. And then you can turn the page, and this looks the same as last year. So you have your kind of info page, your welcome from Sierra, the founder, who is amazing. It's like she's one of the biggest reasons why I love MakseLife and staying with them. And then here you have, just like last year, a calendar. So mine actually came, if you see it coming out a little bit, this page actually came one after on accident, but I looked at other people's reviews and I didn't see that in there. So I think mine was just like an accident, one messed up planner. So I just snipped it and cut it and moved it to the right page. Not a big deal. And then you have your goals section. So if you haven't used MakseLife before, their biggest probably differentiator between them and other planner companies is that Sierra is an official life coach and she does know so much information, so much important knowledge about goal setting and how to really help you throughout your life, and how to make the changes that you want to make, how to achieve the goals you want to change, and how to break them down. So this is kind of their section for starting to explain all of that, to make it really possible for anyone. So here they're explaining what it is, but we'll go through there. They have a compass assessment where you essentially score what your life feels like right now in different areas that they've laid out. And then you can score where you want it to be by the end of the year, set some intentions, annual goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, or actions as they put it, and then you have check-in points. So that really helps you to see, make sure to just keep pointing you back toward that assessment and see if you're on track for what you want to do. So again, I didn't see any differences between last year's and this year's, so this looks the same. You have your compass. I can show you what mine looked like last year, so you can kind of see how you do it. So this was what mine was like last year. You actually go to the next pages and you can score what your scores are for everything. So I take care of my physical, mental, and emotional health from 1 to 10, and then you average these all out. And then you put it on your wheel. So people are really creative. I recommend going on to the MakseLife Instagram or going to other people's Instagrams that use MakseLife and look at the different ways that people choose to shade or circle or whatever. People have really fun, creative ways of how they choose to lay this out. But essentially, you mark where you are and then the circles, or however you want to do it, for where you want to be by the end of the year. And then, yeah, so that's the same from last year to this year. So this year you would do the same thing. I think the questions, let me see. I think the questions were the same or similar. Oh, it's a little bit different. They're a little bit different, but pretty similar. So it looks like from the one I see, one said, I've identified what my own definition of spirituality is. And this one says, I have a personal definition of spirituality, purpose, or guiding beliefs. So similar, but a little refined, probably from just feedback and different things that they saw. Another one I see is, I take regularly planned vacations and or time off. This is, I take intentional time off for rest, enjoyment, or reset. So you don't have to necessarily, I guess, go travel, just any way that you find rest and recreation. So then we have, this is always my favorite page, actually, of the whole planner, is this intentions page. So this has questions of kind of looking back and looking forward and thinking, what do you want more of in this year? What do you want to let go of? What are some habits you want to develop? And then that helps you go to your word of the year for the next year. And that's really fun for just thinking through all of the goals and things that you're going to put after this, is how can you be focusing on whatever your word is. And if you need ideas for words, go to the MakseLife Facebook group or message me online. There's so many fun resources and different ways that you can look at lists and definitions of words to pick a word that really suits you. So then you can write what it means for you. So last year my word was dependent, and I went through all these questions and I got that. I've also had like intentional and humility and different things. And then the really only other difference that I've seen, besides a little bit of like thinner fonts and stuff, is that this box here in a few different areas has changed from a kind of a teal color to this blue color. So otherwise though, same, which is great because, like I said, I really love the goal setting system. So here you have some guidance on how to write goals, types of goals, explaining these goals and actions that I'm going to show you, the pages that I'm going to show you. Here are some words of different area in each of the areas. And then you have your map, so you can kind of just brainstorm and write down ideas. I love having a place like this so that if you're like me and a lot of planners that are like type A people or organized people, and you want to go into the goals pages and not have errors or not be erasing or whatever, then you can have this page of forgiveness. That's what this is right here. Write all the notes, put all the sticky notes, stickers, erasing, whatever you need to be able to come in to write your goals pages or your vision board that we'll see in a little bit, and looking at, okay, what are your goals in each of these areas? One of the things that I love about the MakseLife team is that they're consistently talking about how you can fill as many or as little of these goal pages and sections as you would like. So if it feels really overwhelming to you to fill out 8 big annual goals, I understand, because I have 2 kids that are younger and take up a lot of my time. I have a full-time job that is not related to that, and I'm also love doing all of this planner stuff. So there's a lot going on. A lot of the time I'll maybe put like minimal things in these annual goals, but I'll try to really focus in these areas, but I'll try to really focus on a few, like 2 or 3 that I really want to be the main goal here. And sometimes maybe your focus is just like consistency, like keep doing great, keep crushing your job, whatever it is. Then we turn the page and we have the vision board. I don't remember if last year I put my vision board in here. I think I made it on a separate paper. Yeah, I did. But the vision board is so fun. Again, go look at examples of what people have done. Someone, I think it was Hannah from Hand Can Plan, started doing hers on Canva, and I really like that, so then I laid mine out there and then kind of put it here. You can be as messy or as neat, use words, pictures, whatever you want for this. And usually what I'll do, and what a lot of people do, is put their kind of word of the year in the middle somewhere and then put things around it that go toward that. But again, all this blank space means you can do whatever you want. However you want your vision to be, whatever 2026 vision means to you, you go for that. And then here's another just kind of brainstorm page. So ideas, future goals, whatever. It would be a good idea to like put a bookmark here if you want to go back to it throughout the year. And then we start the months. So this is like what you would expect in a lot of planners, where you have like the weekly pages and the monthly pages. So this section of goal setting just kind of takes your planner to the next level, because it ensures that all of these plans and the things that you're doing every day or every week or every month are aligning with the life that you want to lead in this next year. So again, these quotes and everything look the same as past years. This also, so here's a monthly spread. Beautiful. I love it. I wouldn't change anything either. I love having the next little month here, the quote, the cleanliness. It looks beautiful. I like how they have the dates for the holidays in there. Then you turn after the month to your goals for that month. So again, you can take from your annual and break them down to what you want to do in January or in each month to be able to work toward those. A reminder, it's fine to just do a couple of them. You don't have to do all of them, but if you really want to, go for it. Sometimes it might not feel as heavy of a burden as it looks at first when you realize like a fun thing might just be watching a movie or something like that. Then you might realize that you can get more of these than you think. This is a page that the MakseLife team has refined over the years too, and to me it looks the same as past years, is this reflection page. So you have this reflection page that helps guide you for the coming week. So you can kind of reflect on the last week, so your last planner, or just thinking about your last week. What are your wins, what's working, what's not, lessons, adjustments. But I also love that they put it over here so that if you have a different way you want to reflect, you want to write a poem or just write notes or put a quote here or whatever you want, you can do that. But these here are, if you're not sure how to do the reflection page, this is a great way to think about your last week and think into your next week then of going over here of what your weekly actions are going to be. So what are you going to do in these different areas, however many you want, to hit your goals for the month and ultimately for the year. Then we turn to the weekly page. Again, I didn't notice any differences in this page from the last year. And I think that's because, again, it's just beautiful. So you have a reminder that I have the weekly vertical. So that's why you see each of the days going vertically. But if you are like, what is that? My brain doesn't work like that. I need the dates going that way. Then check out the MakseLife horizontal planner. And so here I like to have this because I really do think vertically either I sometimes will use the hours, like write my appointments here, like 8 o'clock at this, at 10 o'clock, at 2, whatever. And then maybe tasks that I want to do either before or after my work day. And then down here, you can use whatever you want. I've seen people do meal planning. I've done that before. I've done step counts before when I've had little challenges with my friends. Whatever, quotes, reflection from that day. I just saw in a different planner account that they put like a name for that day, like friend style. And so that like this day would be like crushing the new year or whatever, crushing the last year, and then moving on to whatever the next day is for that day, like when the kids were BFFs and because they really got along that day or whatever it is. And I thought that was a cute idea, so I'll probably do that this year. But the thing I love about a blank planner and with this is you can decide, do you want to have it with your schedule? Do you want to have a task list? Do you want to have something else? I've used my MakseLife planner before to track, like I said, different goals that I had for like reading or working out or work goals. So having this blank space and just having it open for the day really makes it so you can customize to what works for you. And then we have habits over here. So that's where I usually put like, did I take my vitamins? Did I read that day? Did I whatever? And then again, the weekly reflection, weekly actions, weekly schedule or plans. Weekly reflections, actions, plans. And it goes like that until you get to the end of the month where you have your monthly reflections. So wins this month, things working, things not working, what you learned, improvements, grateful for, habits next month, and rating, which that's a fun thing. And then again, just repeats throughout all of the months. Quotes, like I said, all of these pages look the same to me from past years if you're wondering. Once you get to the end of a quarter, so every 3 months, then you'll have your monthly reflection for that month, but then you'll also have a quarterly compass assessment. So this thing being the compass assessment, remember that was at the beginning that you did for what you want, where you are for the going into the year, and then where you want to be. So in these quarterly compass pages are to check, like, where are you, where were you, how are you progressing? No shame at all, but just kind of keeps it on the top of your mind to think like, oh, actually, I wanted to look at my finances more, and I haven't been doing that. I've been doing great in physical environment, but let's improve some of the financial stuff and focus more on that in April. So then going in, same thing, you go through, same. Then we get to the very end. These pages are actually pretty easy to turn for how big the quill is. I'm really impressed. So you get to your quarter 4 compass, do that, finish December, which will be in a whole year. And then you have extras So this is kind of just looking forward to the other pages, and then notes, 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 because that's always good to have. I use these note pages for anything, sometimes for tracking bills, sometimes for planning my kids' birthdays, whatever I might need, sometimes work stuff. And then you have a pocket here in the back, which is awesome for anything that you have. And then we have all of these stickers and all of these colors, if you didn't notice, and these symbols match with one of the goals. So one of the colors for financial, one of the colors for physical, one of the colors for spiritual, all of those things. And then there we are. There we go. So that is the MakseLife Planner for 2026. I cannot wait to dive into this. If you're watching this video in January or if you're watching it in September, it doesn't matter. Whenever you are ready to start working toward your goals, to start making your plans intentionally, working toward the life you want to live, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you check out this MakseLife Planner. You will get all the plans that you need to practically finish the tasks that you need each day to make it to your appointments, but weaved through there and really is a foundation of all of these things, making sure that you're living the life that you want to live, that you're living intentionally, is this goal setting network. And it's also such a great community. If you join the Facebook group, if you join the Instagram group, there's an app called Club Moxie. Comment down below if you want more information for that. There is such a community of people here to help support you in your goals wherever you are, whether you're crushing them, whether you're struggling with them. There is so much love and so much support in this community. So check out MakseLife. Drop down below in the comments if you have any questions at all. Like this video and subscribe to my channel so that we can keep making planning fun together.